All right, here we go. POL, Chapter 9, number 10. We have to find the sum of the geometric series. And if you can't tell, this one is going to actually be finite because it stops. We are summing from position 0 to position 15, right, which is a little weird in itself because normally we sum from position 1 to 15 or whatever number's up top. But this one, they actually have a 0 term. Oftentimes, if I'm a little confused with this, I'll kind of list it out in the other form where basically I'll list some terms, dot, 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 up to the 15. Okay, so basically we are adding these 15 terms together, and the 0 term, to figure out what that is, we just put in 0 for x, right? So it would be 1/3 times to the 0 power, do the exponent first, and then times 2. So anything to the 0 power is 1, so we have 1 times 2 is 2. And then for the first term, I just put 1 in for x. That would be 2 times 1/3 to the first power. So 1/3 is just, to the first power is just 1/3 times 2. So you double 1/3, so you'd have 2/3. Okay, and then for 2, you could do the same thing. But hopefully you'll see that this pattern is really start with 2 and then multiply by 1/3 each time. So this one would become 2/9, dot, 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 dot. And then we could figure out what this one is, but it's basically going to be 2 times 1/3 to the 15th power. Okay, and hopefully you start to realize that actually what's going to happen as these get smaller, this is called the converging series. So this is basically going to be 0. 1/3 to the 15th power is basically 0. It's really, really small. And times it by 2 is still pretty much going to be 0. All right, so at any rate, to find the sum, basically just looking at this, looks like the sum is probably going to be 3. So this question must have a typo in it because there's 2 number 3s. But basically, it's more than 2 and it's more than 0. So for sure, it's got to be 3. Sorry, there's a typo. I'm not sure which one is the right one here. Maybe I'll go in and change it after this. But yeah, so at any rate, that's the sum. If you want to do the full formula, if you look for a finite geometric, it's this formula right here, right? So we have A1. So the sum is A1. So A1, this is tricky. Like this would seem like it would be A1 to me, but A1 is actually the first thing in your sum. So our sum is actually adding all of this stuff together. So the first number in our sum is actually 2. And then we have 1 minus r. So r is 1/3 because we're timesing by a third each time. So we have 1/3 to the 15th power. N is 15. Again, I'm just filling in this formula right here. And then over 1 minus r. All right. And then you can certainly use your calculator here, but I'm actually going to do this with a little bit of mental math. So at the bottom is just 2/3. If you have a full pizza and you eat a third of it, you have 2/3 left. And then this part is 0, right? 1/3 to the 15th is more or less 0, right? So I have 1 minus 0 times 2. So it's just 1 times 2, so you get 2 up top. And so then we have 2 divided by 2/3, and that should come out to be 3, right? So it looks like you can either kind of just mentally do this, or if you want to do the full formula, you should get 3. Okay, hopefully that helps.